Coming up on The Beat, a major night for the C's Sunday as Rondo Mania overtook Linsanity in Beantown.
You know he's having a good night when he's knocking that down.
We'll take a look at Rondo's career-high moves and break down the trade rumors swirling around Boston's Big Three. Then heated head shocks and all-star hard knocks. How the NBA's new concussion policy is rocking the league. Plus, we'll chat analytics and analysis with the man behind Houston's curtain as GM Daryl Morey joins us live. It's all next on The Beat.
Hi, folks, and welcome to The Beat, the show that brings you the stories behind the stories in the NBA from those who cover the league at the highest level. I'm Vince Cellini, and these are the usual suspects. Joining us from Silver Spring, Maryland is TNT's David Aldridge. From Boston, Massachusetts, and Comcast Sportsnet New England is Sherrod Blakely. And with us from New York, Lang Whitaker, editor-at-large from Slam Magazine. Guys, good to see all of you. And Boston is where we start the show. It's a good place to start because of Rajon Rondo and his Sunday monster doubleheader. He was incredible. In a word, incredible in a win over the Knicks. 18 points, 17 rebounds, and 20 assists in the game, sending us all scrambling for the statistical and historical impact. Because like we said, it was not your garden variety triple-double. Rondo posted only one of 3 triple-doubles featuring at least 20 assists and 17 rebounds, joining Wilt and Magic. He's also one of 5 players to have a 17-plus triple-double. In short, one of the finest individual performances ever. So, Sherrod, I'm a little confused now. Why would they think of trading this guy again? Help me out.
Well, I'll just give you 2 words. Chris Paul. That's the only guy that the Celtics have been seriously trying to move Rajon Rondo for. And when you look at Chris Paul, what he's done throughout his career, it's understandable. But there's a thing that I think people have to keep in mind. The Celtics are not going to give Rajon Rondo away for nothing. And you saw a Sunday night against the Knicks why. The guy can score, rebound, and pretty much single-handedly take over a game on any given moment. One of the things I think he's had a challenge with is the fact that he's a very good player who's blossoming into a superstar, but there are 4 superstars already there. And I think that's part of the challenge that Rajon Rondo has, is really establishing himself as a great player in this league, while at the same time not necessarily stepping on the toes of those guys who are future Hall of Famers who he plays with.
Yeah, and D.A., in fairness to the Boston Celtics, they're not actively shopping him, but of course you always listen to offers for players, and I think that's what Danny Ainge is doing. And very impressive the fact that Rondo's almost motivated by this talk. He's blocked it out, and he's performed very well this past week.
He's always responded well, Vince, when he's gotten criticism from within. He has that ability to kind of channel that anger into great production on the court. You do wonder, though, I mean, you keep hearing these rumors come up, and I know some of this is self-serving on the part of other teams, but for the Celtics to continually have put him out there, and I know most of it was for Chris Paul, you just wonder what the point is of this. He's under contract. It's a very fair contract, I think. It's $36 million the next 3 years. That's not bad at all for a player of his caliber. And so you just wonder, what is the point of all this? Because even if some of his teammates don't like him right now, so what? They're not going to be there next year. Boston's rebuilding. They're going to get rid of the big 3. You know, Kevin Garnett's a free agent. Ray Allen's a free agent. All of the guys they brought in on one-year deals, I don't think any of them are going to be there next year. You just wonder, why wouldn't you want to rebuild around Rajon Rondo?
You know, that's an interesting point. I hear that he's stubborn and he could be hard-headed and so on and so forth. And Lang, you know, it's not like these guys want him to be in their wedding. They just want to play basketball with him. It's not like they're all going to go to Vegas together. They're playing basketball. As long as it's productive, be professional and play ball.
And I think as long as you can put up 20 assists, your teammates are going to be pretty happy with you. You know, if that's the kind of production you're going to get out of Rondo with trade rumors circling, I'd be putting out trade rumors every game. To me, the most impressive part wasn't even the points or the assists. It was the rebounds. How many times do you see a guard, especially a 6'1" guard, go out and get 17 rebounds in a game? I'm really impressed by the way he played last night. I think now the challenge is just doing that game after game and not having those games where he comes out, like against Cleveland the other day where he had 0 points, not having those clunker games, but having that kind of production night after night.
Well, interesting quote from Doc Rivers and from Hall of Famer Bob Cousy from the Boston Celtics. I want to put them both together and bring them to you now. Doc, on Rondo. My relationship with Rajon is as strong as it's ever been. Our communication has never been better. I want him here. I can say with almost 100% certainty he will be with us when the season ends. I'm tired of this stuff. It's not fair. But Kuz really stole the show. He said, I'm out of the loop. But boy, unless he's a serial killer on the side, I wouldn't let this kid go. I don't know where you can find a better point guard. And oh, by the way, that's from the greatest point guard in Boston Celtics history. So that's quite a recommendation. DA, do these things have a tendency, and I know you followed a lot of teams during trade deadlines and getting closer. Sure. Do they have a way of working themselves out one way or the other?
Well, magically, you hear all these rumors about people being shopped, and it's so surprising that maybe other teams might be behind these things to try to gin up some interest in a great player like Rondo. I would, again, unless, and I wrote this in the tip this morning, unless they're getting one great player back, I wouldn't trade Rajon Rondo. Just wouldn't.
Sherrod, can the Celtics stand pat as they are? And I don't know, because I'm on the bandwagon, then I'm off the bandwagon. I mean, can they stand pat as they are with this core and go out and make one final hurrah?
They can make one last push, but this team, as they're constructed now, they're not going to get past Chicago and Miami. I think there's a possibility, if all the stars align properly and the Ouija board is working in their favor, that they might get past one of those two. But I can't see them having the kind of team, the way they're made up now, where they can get past both. But the one thing about the Celtics, and Danny Ainge has talked about this, Doc has talked about this, and 29 other teams have also talked about this, is health. If the Celtics can stay healthy, it'll be interesting to see if they can make a run. And right now, aside from Jermaine O'Neal, they've got all their big guns ready to play. And as we've seen, they're a very difficult team to beat when they've got all their guys playing well.
Yeah, we hear that theory, excuse me, and that's even in the Western Conference, the San Antonio Spurs, that's been their mantra as well. Lang, with this Boston team, and in the Atlantic, you see the improving Knicks, you see the improving Sixers. So there's going to be pressure on them from within that division, not only there, but in the bigger picture as well.
And I think the Knicks and the Sixers are teams you look at maybe a year from now, 2 years from now, as teams that are going to contend even in the division and the conference. But I think right now, if you want to win this season, this is the Celtics season to make that push with all these veteran guys.
All right, we're going to sit tight and see what happens. Guys, thank you very much. Going to take a break here on The Beat. Coming up, a visit with Houston Rockets general manager Daryl Morey, who has the numbers, inside the numbers, wrapped in the numbers. It's time when mathletes shine.